special music for us this morning. Appreciate him.
Good morning. Have a song picked out. It's actually usually hear it on the radio. I've heard it a couple of times around Christmas, but it's appropriate for any day of the year. It's whoever takes the sun gets it all. Years ago, there was a very wealthy man who, with his devoted young son, shared a passion for art collecting. Together, they traveled around the world, adding only the finest treasures they could collect. Priceless works by Picasso, Van Gogh, and Monet, and many others adorned the walls of the family estate. The widowed elderly man looked on with satisfaction as his only child became an experienced art collector. The son's trained eye and sharp business mind caused his father to beam with pride as they dealt with art collectors around the world. As winter approached, war engulfed their nation, and the young man left to serve his country. After only a few short weeks, the elder man received a telegram that his beloved son was missing in action. The art collector anxiously awaited more news, fearing he would never see his son again. Within days, his fears were confirmed. The young man had died while rushing to help a fellow soldier to the medic. Distraught and lonely, the old man faced the upcoming Christmas holidays with anguish and sadness. The joy of the season that he and his son had looked so forward to in the past would not visit his house any longer. On Christmas morning, a knock on the door awakened the depressed old man. As he walked to the door, the masterpieces of art on the wall only reminded him that his son would not be coming home. He opened the door and was greeted by a soldier with a large package in his hand. The soldier introduced himself to the old man, saying, "I was a friend of your son. I was the one he was rescuing when he died." He said, "May I come in for a few minutes?" He said, "I have something to show you." As the two began to talk, the soldier told of how the man's son had told him of his father's love of the art world. He said, "I'm also an artist." He said, "I want to give you this." The old man began to unwrap the package, and the paper gave way to reveal a portrait of the man's son. Though the work would never consider a work of genius, the painting featured the young man's face in striking detail. Overcome with emotion, the old man thanked the soldier, promising to hang it above the fireplace. A few hours later, after the soldier had departed, the old man set about his task. True to his word, the painting went above the fireplace, pushing aside thousands of dollars worth of paintings. Then the old man sat in his chair and spent Christmas gazing at the gift that he had been given. During the days and weeks that followed, the man learned that his son had rescued dozens of wounded soldiers before a bullet stilled his caring heart. As the stories of his son's gallantry continued to reach him, fatherly pride and satisfaction began to ease grief, as he realized that, although his son was no longer with him, the boy's life would live on because he had touched so many. The painting of his son became his most prized possession, far eclipsing any interest in priceless pieces for which museums around the world wanted. He told his neighbors it was the greatest gift that he had ever received. The following spring, the old man became ill and passed away. The art world was in anticipation. Since the old man's passing, his only son dead, those paintings would be sold at auction. According to the will of the old man, all the artworks would be auctioned on Christmas Day, the way that he had received the greatest gift. The day finally arrived, and the art collectors from all around the world gathered to bid on some of the world's most spectacular paintings. Dreams could be fulfilled that day. Greatness could be achieved, as some could say, "I have the greatest collection." The auction began with a painting that was not on any list. It was a painting of the old man's son. The auctioneer asked for an opening bid. The room was silent. Who will be the opening bid? $100. He asked. Moments passed and no one spoke. From the back of the room came, who cares about that painting? It's just a picture of his son. Let's get on. Forget about it and let's get on with the good ones. More voices echoed in agreement. No, we have to sell this one first, replied the auctioneer. Now who will take the son? Finally, a friend of the old man spoke up. Will you take $10 for the painting? He said, that's all I have. He said, will anybody go higher? Called the auctioneer. More silence laid. Going once, going twice, gone. The gavel fell. Cheers filled the room and someone shouted, now we can get on with it and bid on the treasures. The auctioneer looked at the audience and announced the auction was over. Stunned, belief quietened the room. Someone spoke up in the back. He said, what do you mean it's over? We didn't come here for a portrait of some old man's son. What about all the other paintings? There are millions of dollars worth here. We demand an explanation. The auctioneer replied, it's very simple. According to the will of the Father, whoever takes his son gets it all. That sort of puts it in perspective. You know, if you ain't got Jesus, you ain't got nothing. But you get it all with him. Thank you.